My name is Natalie Brooks. I'm 31 years old, and I'm about to tell you the story of how my family took everything I had saved for my own future and gave it to my sister, and what happened when I finally found the proof. I was 21 years old when I started saving for my wedding. I know that sounds young. I know that sounds naive. But I had a dream. I had a dream of meeting someone. I had a dream of falling in love. I had a dream of getting married. I opened a savings account. I put $50 a week in it. I worked extra shifts. I worked overtime. I worked holidays. I saved every penny I could. By the time I was 24, I had $25,000. It was my nest egg. It was my future. It was everything I had worked for. I didn't tell anyone about it. I didn't tell my parents. I didn't tell my sister. I didn't tell anyone. It was my secret, my future. Part 2. The phone call. I was 24 years old when my mother called me. She said, "Natalie, we need to talk. Your sister is getting married. She's met someone. She's in love. She's getting married next month." I was happy for her. I was excited for her. I said, "That's wonderful, Mom. I'm so happy for her." My mother said, "Natalie, we need your help. Your sister can't afford a wedding. She has no money. She has no savings. She has nothing. You're the only one who can help. You're the only one who has money." I said, "Mom, I have $25,000. It's for my future. It's for my wedding. It's for my life." My mother said, "Natalie, you're not even dating anyone. You don't need the money right now. Your sister needs it. She's in love. She's starting a family. You'll figure it out. You always do." I said, "Mom, I've been saving for 3 years. I've worked so hard. I've sacrificed so much. I can't just give it away." My mother said, "Natalie, this is what family does. This is what good people do. You're a good person. You'll do the right thing." I thought about it for 3 days. I thought about it every night. I thought about it every morning. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I couldn't think about anything else. My sister called me. She said, "Natalie, I need you to know something. I know Mom asked you for money. I know it's a lot. I know it's not fair. But I need your help. I want my wedding to be perfect. I want my day to be special. I want you to be part of it." I said, "Sis, I want you to be happy. I want you to have the wedding you want. I'll help. I'll do whatever I can." She said, "Thank you, Natalie. You're the best sister in the world. I love you." I cried. I cried for 20 minutes after we hung up. I cried because I loved her. I cried because I wanted her to be happy. I cried because I knew I was giving up my future for her. I gave her the money. I gave her everything. I paid for the wedding. I paid for the dress. It was $5,000. It was beautiful. It was everything she had ever wanted. I paid for the venue. It was $8,000. It was a beautiful barn on a farm. It had string lights. It had flowers. It was perfect. I paid for the food. It was $4,000. It was a buffet. It was delicious. Everyone loved it. I paid for the flowers. It was $2,000. They were white roses. They were beautiful. I paid for the photographer. It was $3,000. She was a professional. She was the best in town. I paid for everything. I gave them everything. My sister was happy. She was glowing. She was everything she had ever wanted to be. My mother was happy. She was proud. She was everything she had ever wanted to be. I was happy too. I was happy for them. I was happy to be part of it. I was happy to see my sister smile. My sister never said thank you. She never said, "Natalie, thank you for everything." She never said, "Natalie, I appreciate what you did." She never said anything. My mother never said thank you. She never said, "Natalie, we're so grateful." She never said, "Natalie, you're the best daughter in the world." She never said anything. My father never said thank you. He never said anything. He just stood there. He just watched. I waited. I waited for a thank you. I waited for recognition. I waited for appreciation. I waited for anything. I got nothing. I was 24 years old. I was $25,000 poorer. I had nothing to show for it. I had no future. I had no savings. I had nothing. I didn't talk about the money. I didn't talk about the wedding. I didn't talk about anything. I just kept working. I kept saving. I kept moving forward. My sister got married. She had a baby. She had a family. She had everything she had ever wanted. I was still single. I was still saving. I was still waiting. I was still hoping. My mother called me sometimes. She said, "Natalie, when are you going to get married? When are you going to find someone? When are you going to start a family?" I said, "Mom, I can't afford to get married. I can't afford to start a family. I used all my savings on my sister's wedding. I have nothing left." She said, "Natalie, you're being dramatic. You can always save more. You can always start over. You're young. You have your whole life ahead of you." I said, "Mom, I'm 29. I'm not young. I'm not starting over. I'm trying to build a life, and I can't because I gave everything away." I was 30 years old when I got the call. It was from the photographer who had shot my sister's wedding. Her name was Mrs. Linda Thompson. She was 60 years old. She had been a photographer for 35 years. "Natalie," she said, "I have something for you. Something I've been keeping for 6 years. It's a photograph. It's from your sister's wedding. I think you need to see it." I met her at her studio. She opened a folder. She pulled out a photograph. It was a photograph of my mother. She was talking to my sister. They were laughing. They were happy. They were everything they had ever wanted to be. But there was something else in the photograph. Something I had never noticed before. Something I had never seen. There was a check. My mother was holding a check. It was from my sister's new husband. It was for $25,000. It was the exact amount of money I had given them. I said, "Mrs. Thompson, where did you get this photograph?" She said, "I took it. I was taking pictures of the wedding. I caught this moment. I didn't think anything of it at the time, but a few years later, I started thinking about you. I started thinking about how you paid for everything. I started thinking about how no one ever thanked you. I started thinking about how you never got anything back." She paused. She said, "I decided to keep this photograph. I decided to keep it for you. I wanted you to know the truth. I wanted you to know that your sister's husband paid your mother back. He paid her $25,000. He never paid you. He never even told you." I did some research. I wanted to know where the money had come from. I wanted to know where it had gone. I found out that my sister's husband had a trust fund. He had $500,000. He could have paid for the wedding himself. He could have paid for everything. But my mother had told him not to. She had told him that I would pay for it. She had told him that I was happy to do it. She had told him that it was my gift to my sister. I found out that he had written my mother a check for $25,000. He had written it on the day of the wedding. He had written it because my mother had asked him to. She had asked him to pay her back. She had asked him to give her the money. And she had kept it. She had kept it for herself. I went to my mother's house. I had the photograph in my hand. I had the proof. I had everything. My mother was in the kitchen. She was cooking dinner. She didn't look up when I walked in. She said, "Natalie, what are you doing here? You didn't call." I said, "Mom, we need to talk." I placed the photograph on the counter. I said, "Mom, do you know what this is?" She looked at it. Her face turned pale. She said, "Where did you get that?" I said, "From the photographer, Mrs. Thompson. She kept it for 6 years. She kept it because she wanted me to know the truth." My mother said, "Natalie, I don't know what you're talking about." I said, "Mom, I know everything. I know that my sister's husband gave you $25,000. I know that you kept it for yourself. I know that you never told me. I know that you never paid me back. I know everything." My mother said, "Natalie, it's not what you think. I was holding on to it for you. I was going to give it to you eventually. I was just waiting for the right time." I said, "Mom, I waited 6 years. I waited 6 years for you to tell me the truth. I waited 6 years for you to pay me back. I waited 6 years for you to apologize, and you never did." My mother said, "Natalie, I was going to tell you. I was going to pay you back. I just didn't have the money. I was going to figure it out. I just needed more time." I said, "Mom, you had the money. You had it the whole time. You just didn't want to give it back. You wanted to keep it for yourself." My mother started to cry. She said, "Natalie, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I made a mistake. I was wrong. I shouldn't have done it. I'm sorry." I said, "Mom, you're not sorry. You're sorry you got caught. You're sorry I found out. You're sorry I have proof. You're not sorry you took my money. You're not sorry you lied. You're not sorry you stole from me." She said, "Natalie, please, please forgive me. Please give me another chance. I'll make it right. I'll pay you back. I'll do anything." I said, "Mom, I can't forgive you. I can't give you another chance. I can't pretend like this didn't happen. You took everything from me. You took my future. You took my savings. You took my happiness. And you didn't even care." I never talked to my mother again. I never talked to my sister again. I never talked to anyone in my family again. I moved away. I started a new life. I built a new career. I found new friends. I found new family. My mother called me once. She said, "Natalie, it's Christmas. We want you to come home. We want to spend the holidays together." I said, "Mom, I don't have a home. I haven't had a home since you took my money, and I'm never coming back." She said, "Natalie, you're breaking my heart. You're breaking the family. You need to come home." I said, "Mom, you broke my heart. You broke it when you took my money. You broke it when you lied. You broke it when you didn't care. And I'm never coming back." I saved again. I saved for 3 years. I saved everything I could. I saved until I had $25,000. I met someone. I fell in love. I got married. I paid for my own wedding. I paid for everything. I paid for my own dress. I paid for my own venue. I paid for my own flowers. I paid for my own photographer. My mother didn't come. My sister didn't come. They didn't even call. They didn't even send a card. But I was happy. I was happy because I had done it on my own. I was happy because I had never given up. I was happy because I had finally gotten what I deserved. If you've ever been the one who paid for everyone else's happiness, I want you to hear something. You don't owe them anything. You don't owe them your money. You don't owe them your time. You don't owe them your future. They took enough. You gave enough. It's time to stop. You are not their bank account. You are not their safety net. You are not their backup plan. You are your own person, and you deserve to be happy. My name is Natalie Brooks. I'm 31 years old. I paid for my sister's wedding, and I paid for my own wedding too. I paid for everything. If this story made you feel something, drop a comment below. Tell me the word that describes what you feel. Share this video with someone who needs to hear they're not alone. Subscribe for more stories like this. Thank you for listening to mine.